It's been confirmed 3 people have been killed, and the RFS has confirmed all missing people have now been accounted for, but there could be others authorities are not aware of. 150 homes have been destroyed, at least 35 people have been injured, including 19 firefighters, and the emergency warnings have now been downgraded. Flames borne down on homes at Old Bar, Wallaby Point near Taree on the mid-north coast, where the body of a woman has tragically been found in the rubble of a burnt-out building. Live now to our reporter, Stella Todorovic, who's at the Taree Evacuation Centre. Stella, the Prime Minister and New South Wales Premier will visit there later this morning.
That's right, Sam. Scott Morrison and Gladys Berejiklian have just been briefed on this ongoing bushfire emergency at the Incident Control Centre in Wauchope near Port Macquarie. They will now travel here to Club Taree Evacuation Centre, where they will meet residents who have been forced to flee their homes. A disaster coordinator has been appointed, and the federal government this morning has extended its immediate financial support for residents that have been affected by this bushfire emergency. Up to $1,000 cash is available for eligible adults and $400 is available for eligible children. Now, Gladys Berejiklian, the New South Wales Premier, is urging residents to lean on each other during this tough time and to really accept the support that's being offered.
I have to say, the last time I was up there, unfortunately, which wasn't too long ago, to deal with bushfires, the biggest thing that struck me was how many people didn't want to come forward and say they needed help. Their neighbours were there saying, my neighbours are doing it tough. And we urge everybody, this is not a time to be shy or be embarrassed. We want to be there to support everybody.
And Opposition Leader Anthony Albanese has this morning offered to travel to the affected areas.
These are really extraordinary circumstances, particularly at this time of the year, at the beginning of the season or before the normal bushfire season. And to have fatalities, to have so many people missing, my heart goes out to them. I offered yesterday, when I rang the Prime Minister, to go with him. At that stage, he wasn't intending to go up there. I'll go up there, certainly, if it's appropriate.
Sam, some residents have been here at the evacuation centre since Friday, and one woman I spoke to is just desperate to get some clean clothes. The fatigue really setting in for the residents that have been staying here over the last few days. The Lions Club in Taree has set up a GoFundMe page. Sky News spoke to their membership coordinator a short time ago.
Thank you, Australia, for thinking of us. We've had messages from all over the country. The best thing that people that want to help can do now is to spread the word about the fund campaign, GoFundMe, bushfire relief appeal for the mid-coast. If you can spread that out there as far and as wide as possible, that will be the best way you can respond and help right now.
That GoFundMe campaign has already raised more than $5,000, Sam. And as you mentioned, all of the emergency warnings have been downgraded. There are currently 11 Watch and Act warnings in place. And despite this slight reprieve in the weather conditions, it's still going to be a race against time for the fire crews on the ground here on the mid-north coast ahead of worsening conditions on Tuesday.
Stella, I appreciate the update. We'll, of course, touch base with you again next hour. Earlier, we spoke to New South Wales Rural Fire Service Deputy Commissioner Rob Rogers. He says fire crews are bracing for more dangerous bushfire conditions, as Stella just mentioned, over the next 48 to 72 hours.
Those fires that we have downgraded to Watch and Act, there's every likelihood that they will escalate again, either this afternoon, tomorrow, and certainly on Tuesday. What we're doing now is looking at assessing those communities that are in the path of those known fires, working out what we do with those communities, how we defend those communities, and what the specific advice we're giving those communities. The other issue for us is the large extent of fire risk areas that will be on Tuesday that isn't currently fire affected. And you're talking there about the Hunter, the Central West, Illawarra and the Greater Sydney area. And obviously there's no fires there, but we're very heavily committed in the north. So we have to think about how we respond to fires if they break out in those other areas that potentially could become fire affected. There's a lot of planning going on at the moment, and obviously we'll have more to say about that in the next 24 hours.
Today, we've also heard the devastating impact bushfires are having on local communities. 2 mayors from some of the worst affected areas have spoken to Sky News.
While they can backburn, they will. While they can do anything they can to minimise the forward movement of the fire under the influence of wind, and we've got no idea which way the wind is going to go at the moment, and that's what's been driving this mongrel of a beast. They've got an opportunity, and I know they're capitalised, but these people are bloody well exhausted. These people are exhausted. You know, fortunately, the Prime Minister is allowing the Army to come in and assist. But gee whiz, I'm sorry, it's unbelievable. I'm now looking at smoke on the horizon. This is being backburnt. I wish them all the luck in the world.
It's been an absolute tragedy. The fires are still raging. It looks today is clear. The wind is already up, but it's a bit cooler. So it's when those temperatures rise that the real damage happens. But some of those out of control fires are very near us and in the Washpool National Park.